Hey, this is Eric Miller here at J-Tech. Today we're going to be covering the air brake system, the whole check. I got a truck out in the parking lot. Normally what you would do is make sure the truck is chalked. And since we're going to be talking about air brakes, air brake lines, one thing you want to do is do an overall view of the truck. And make sure that your air lines are intact, there's nothing missing, and you make sure that your wheels are chalked. Secondly, during this video, I'm be going through a whole lot of scenarios of how things are supposed to be done. Bear with me, I have some notes to make sure that I stay in line, but one of the first things we want to do is do the governor cutout, low pressure test, pressure buildup while the vehicle is chalked. One of the first things you want to do is you want to drain your air tanks to 0 psi. So before I started this vehicle, I already cranked up the truck and started the truck. So I got it to about 120 psi. So what I'm about to do right now is drain my air tanks.
Hey, I kept it going.
Still got it recording. For training purposes only, I was going to go underneath the vehicle, but due to the fact that I don't have a creeper, what I'm going to do is just go back in the vehicle and just go ahead and release the brake to release the air within the brake chamber to go from 120 to 0 psi. So as you can see, I'm sitting here making sure that both tanks go to 0 psi. Now, 0 psi. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna crank up the vehicle. Got to make sure it's in neutral. Put your foot on the clutch. Now, that noise you hear is your air warning buzzer. All right, your air warning buzzer should go off around 60 psi. So what I'm gonna do is rev up the engine. As you can see, it's building up to 60 psi. Now this noise should cut off. As you can see, it had cut off at 60 psi. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build the air pressure up from 85 psi to 100. It should take around 40 seconds for that air to hit both tanks. So roughly we're going to count 40 seconds. governor cutout should cut off. The governor should cut off between 120 psi and 135 psi. And you can hear it if it was outside the vehicle. You hear the governor do like a hissing sound that you know that the air dryer has, the governor has cut off. The leakage test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check the reservoir air supply. What I want to do is push the parking brake in and make sure you have your trailer air supply out. And what I'm doing, I'm going to let the air stabilize for 1 minute. Once 1 minute has elapsed, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to watch my gauge. Alright, since this is a single vehicle, I should not drop 4 PSIs in 2 minutes. So, we got the clock started, so we're going to wait 2 minutes, and I'm going to watch my gauge. And I should not drop within 4 PSIs. As you can see, we're still monitoring our gauge to make sure that we don't drop within the required specs. Minor little issue, truck cut off, but hey, we're still going. Hey, my meters is still running right. I'm looking at both air gauges. I'm not losing no pressure. All right, we'll just say 2 minutes has elapsed. That being said, hey, I'm right within specs. All right, maybe I've lost 2 psi within that 2 minutes, but I'm within specs. So that is the leakage test for the air reservoir. this we will cover.
Hold on one sec.
On this we will cover the engine stop, park, brake, release test. I want to reiterate again because we're messing with this Columbia, even though it's just training age. These trucks do leak, all right? But I want y'all to get a good idea of how the procedures are done. One of the first things you want to do is you want to get your PSIs to 80 to 90 PSIs on this one. Now how you would do that, release air pressure from the brake. Once you do that, you want to stabilize that for 1 minute. All right? And then we're going to go into our test. The test can consist of with my PSIs at 80 to 90, I'm going to put my foot on the brake. By doing so, I'm going to release the parking brake. Now this is a 2-minute test. Now what I'm looking for is the decrease in air pressure. As you can see or as you can hear, you do hear an air leak as we speak. All right. So it could be a number of a few things, but one of the best ways to go find out what it is, if we take some soapy substance and check all the air lines, and then we see where the actual air leak is coming from. So we're doing this 2-minute test right now. I'm looking at the gauges. I'm at, to say 80, but it's slowly decreasing. You're not supposed to lose no more than 4 PSIs within these 2 minutes. So you understand, like right now we got an air leak. Now to fix that, if I have some soapy water or something like that, I can spray on the lines and find out where the actual air leak is coming from as a countermeasure. So we're still gonna wait till this 2 minutes has elapsed. Now as you can hear that air leak when I'm steady losing pressure. And the air leak is coming from the right hand side. So somewhere on this right side I have an air leak. Still waiting for our 2 minutes to expire. So as you can see, as 2 minutes has expired, I have lost more than 4 PSI. So with this particular test right here, I would be considered, or this truck would be considered a no-go. Stay tuned. Next test I'll be conducting is the full pressure engine idling at 600 to 900 RPM. I've already built up my air pressure in my truck with low tank. What I'm trying to do is I want to see how my parking brake release valve, how it operates in and out. And what I'm looking for a metallic air click when I push the valve in and when I pull it out. So it should be like a flowing motion, if I can say it like that. But anyway, I want to show you the dash. What I want to do is you're supposed to rev the engine up to 600 to 900 RPMs. Evidently, you know, our dash meter doesn't work. So basically what I'm doing, I'm revving the engine up to 600 to 900 RPMs. So I'm illustrating that. You can hear it by the engine running. All right, next thing I want to do is right here on this parking brake. I want to make sure that it has an easy, but you can hear the air, all right? That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to see, that's what you want to hear. Another thing, on a side note, if sluggish performance is noted in either test, check for dented or kinked in lines, improperly installed hose fittings, a faulty quick release valve or spring brake control valve, damaged or improperly installed spring brake chambers, or foundation brakes components binding and proper installation and lack of lubrication. So that is the full pressure engine idling at 609 RPMs.